What's up, everybody? Hello, hello, hello. I am coming live today at my usual time here at 12:30, and I'm not doing my typical Dear Gabby live today. I've got something very, very important and special to share with us. And I'm going to be bringing on a friend who, let me just bring her on and I'm going to talk about her. Here we go. Let me find you, my love. Kay, where are you? Okay, I'll wait till Kay joins. Everyone's already requesting to join Dear Gabby. In the meantime, let me post more about Kay here. Okay, and let's turn it around. Kay, when you get here, my love, just raise your hand high so I can see you. Okay. I am bringing on someone. This is actually my first Dear Gabby reunion. Okay, while I wait for her to join, I'm going to tell you what's up. Okay, so about 2.5 months ago, I saw, I did a little Dear Gabby that was, before Dear Gabby was Dear Gabby. I just came on and was sort of like, let me just talk to some people, see how you're feeling. It's right at the beginning of COVID. People were really freaked out. There was a lot happening. There was a lot of energy. And so I was really committed to just helping in whatever way I could. And I started just pulling random people onto my Instagram. At which point and look, let's see, Kate is here. I'm going to bring you on, baby, while I talk about you. Okay, here she is. Okay. Sorry, so this is our first Dear Gabby reunion. And I'm giving a backstory, and then I'm going to shut up because I shared today, hi, my love.
Hi!
Hello, my love. First things first, I'm telling the backstory of how we have reunited and more importantly, how we met and where we met. But before I do that, I want to just acknowledge that this week I posted on my Instagram that I would be muting myself, but muting myself does not mean that I am silent. Muting myself means that I am here to amplify the Black voices of men and women who inspire me, who are serving me at this time, who are teaching me at this time, who are giving me a virtual hug at this time as I face my shame in this conversation. As I show up as a spiritual teacher and leader to really humbly say, I could have been better and I could have been different, and I'm getting it now, and I'm sorry it took so long. And I'm just here, my love, to amplify the voices of men and women who are helping to serve with a lot of compassion to people who may not have shown up for them the best way they could. Okay. But before that, let's just talk for a second about how fun it is that we met the way we met. Okay. So here it goes. I have to get, when I get excited, I start sitting on the chair. Okay. So what happened was, it was 2.5 months ago, maybe 3 months ago. How old's the baby?
2 months.
3 months? 2 months. There you go. So it was 2 months ago. I get on Instagram Live. Everyone's sort of in this frenzy of like, oh my God, I'm being told to stay at home. Oh my God, it's COVID. Oh my God, what's happening in the world? We're freaking out. And so I got on and I just was doing something, but I didn't know what it was yet. And it wasn't Dear Gabby yet. It was just like, let me talk to people and let me bring them on. So I see this, I'm randomly bringing people on, but I know that God tells me who to bring on. Never is it an accident. Ever, ever, ever. So I bring on this woman, and it's Kay. But she is full belly out in the hospital with your mask around your neck. Your man has his mask around his neck. The nurses are all around, and she's here like week 1 into COVID delivering her baby in the hospital. Okay. And she brings me on because she's like, and there you were, like nothing, like you were probably like in the middle of a contraction being like, let's talk. I want to pray with you. Like, let's make something happen. So
there's some questions that need to be asked for everyone.
It was the most amazing moment ever. But the thing that I need to say before I shut up, because I really want to turn it over, is, I looked at Kay and we prayed for the baby, and we prayed for the nurses, and we prayed for and by the way, she has a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful 2-month-old baby girl and had a beautiful birth.
Yes.
But more importantly, what happened in that moment, not more importantly, the baby's the most important, but what happened in that moment was I looked at you at the end of that live, at the end of that connection, and I said, I want to work with you. Like, I want to know you. I will be in touch with you. Kay then had the baby. She reached out to my team. I never got the email. And then once this all the beautiful revelations that were occurring around us start happening, I finally saw a post of yours, and it was what reconnected us. And I wasn't sure if I would find you, and God brought us back together. And in this time of real awakening for white people, you have been a really dear friend to me. And more importantly, when I asked Kay, what would you say to the white spiritual leaders out there? Your answer was, if I, you know, it was exactly what I would have prayed for it to be. It was exactly what I needed to hear. And so today I'm going to shut up now and just introduce you by saying that you are a divine spiritual teacher, a beautiful, beautiful, bright soul. And I want you to guide my community and our community in, you know, what we can do spiritually right now, how we can be better, how we can show up. And I'm also going to post a link that's going to be pinned for how you can learn more about Kay when this is all over. And this is, you know, damn it. Baby, if you post it, I will. You just jump right in. I'm going to find you. You jump right in.
First of all, you guys, I have to say, I am so incredibly humbled, grateful, overwhelmed with joy, more inspired than ever by the fact that we're even doing this. Okay, that we're even having this conversation, that I'm even on this live. First of all, you guys, like all of you watching, I am in love with Gabby. I've been in love with Gabby. I love her books. I use her cards in my live meditation sessions. I mean, you know, so we're soul sisters, as all of us here are. And, you know, so to be here speaking on this platform to you guys, I feel honored, I feel at home, and I'm grateful to be here with you. That's number one, because here is the truth. The truth is that yes, there are terrible things happening in our society, but it's our collective consciousness that's going to pull our society forward. It's us coming together just like this on a frequency of love and vibration and understanding and collaboration and pissed offness that is going to move our society forward. So I am so grateful to be here with all of you. And, you know, there's something else that's really, really, really important to me to say. First of all, Gabby, thank you so much for your openness, for your bravery, for your truth, You guys, I just want you to know that if you're looking for a way to be in this time, Gabby is leading the way and providing an incredible example. She's being brave. She is sharing things that some people might not like. She's, you know, being brave in the face of, not caring about what type of criticism she could receive. She's just doing her part. She's listening. She's being available. She's being willing to take inspired action. Look at us having this conversation. This is a powerful thing right here. And so I just want to point that out, that the summation of what I'm saying is that you already love Gabby. Look at what she's doing. Do what she's doing. And that is to use what you have, all of the skills and talents and faculties and connections and resources that you have to move forward our society in the way that you feel called to. The beautiful thing is you guys are already on a spiritual path. So you've already been actively connecting to the presence of God within you in order to allow it to work through you. And here's something else I want to say. You know, I know many of us, we get on our spiritual path because we needed to pull us out of something painful for ourselves. Well, what I want you to know is that the whole reason we thought it was for ourselves, but it really was for such a time as this. The reason why we've been doing the practices, the reason why we've been elevating ourselves, the reason why we've been, you know, working through and releasing our past traumas and releasing negative energy from within our bodies and clearing our minds and taking control of our minds and learning to be intentional and learning to walk in surrender and learning to take inspired action. The reason why we've been doing that all that time, you guys, is for such a time as this. It wasn't for us. The universe is intentional. We are the God-conscious women of this planet, and the presence of God is working through us. We were cultivating our availability so that we could do what we're called to do. What are you called to do? You know what you're called to do. The presence of God in you guides you to what you're called to do. And whatever it is that you're called to do that, do it boldly, do it consistently, do it proudly. Do it energetically. Do it energetically. Sometimes we're taught that as women that our anger is not okay or that our anger is negative. But guess what? Guess what? All of our energies, if we give them holy assignments, they work on behalf of our highest good. Our anger is positive. It's saying, guess what? This is not worthy of me and I will not accept it. The God being that I am, the noble God being that I am, this is not okay. I don't know how I missed it before, but I see it now, and I'm taking my stand. We lead the way. And guess what, you guys? I am telling you, this is the divine feminine awakening and showing herself. Don't you let anyone tell you that what it is that you do and what you contribute, is it enough, or you didn't do it right, or you didn't say it right. People might not agree. Let me tell you something. Tune into the spirit of your abolitionist ancestors who didn't care what their neighbors thought about them. They were committed to doing their part. And just know that when you're fighting for the rights and the equality of people who might not look like you, you're not just fighting for people. Yes, we should fight for people because we're all people. And if we're all one, we should know that what we want for ourselves, we want to guarantee for everyone. But what you're really fighting for, do you know what you're fighting for? You're fighting for God, because you're fighting for that person's gifts and talents and capacities and their potentials to be fulfilled. You're fighting for the gift that God put in that person to be able to manifest itself and flourish and bless our world. That's what you're fighting for. You're fighting for God when you do what you do. You don't let anyone intimidate you, no matter what color they are, what sex they are, when you are fighting for God. Because guess what? You can't be hurt because the entire universe is on your side. That's why I speak boldly and confidently always, because I know that the presence of God is operating through me. That's why you are drawn to Gabby, because she does the same thing. When we're reading her books, we know it's the presence of God flowing through Gabby according to her uniqueness. She doesn't have to sound like anybody else. She doesn't have to fit the mold of what some people think a spiritual teacher should be. And you don't have to fit the mold of what anyone else thinks that you should be. And don't you ever say that the gift that God gave you to give isn't enough, because we need it all. As we saw and as we see, you guys, in our world and in our country, we need it all. Everything that is going to pull us to a higher vibration of love, we need it all. And I think that's what I really, really wanted to share. So this is why it's very, very important that you stay plugged into your practice. Do not get distracted. Don't let the heavy energies pull you down to the point where you become stagnant and do not stay on top of your practice. Because in your practice is where you're going to hear the highest inspiration for what you're called to do. We can't afford it right now. That's why we've been joining the meditation challenge. That's why we've already been doing our sacred study and reading. That's why we've been taking control of our minds every day. Because right now we need to be able to hold the high watch. We've been called. We've been called. We've been called. We're fighting for the gifts of God, the gifts of divinity in each of us to have the space and love and environment to fully express themselves on our planet, because our planet needs help. So that's the answer. The answer is in all of us. The answer is in all of us. There's something else I need to say. One of you lovely women, and oh my gosh, see, I'm on my phone, so I can't see her name right now. But she asked a question in the DM. She asked me a question in the DM for this live. And she said, and what she said was, I can't read it right now, but I do remember the essence of what she said. What she said was, she said, I want to be a part of moving us forward and creating a new reality for us. She said, but sometimes maybe fear of the unknown can stop you, you know? Maybe it can stop you because you've only known one way of being the entire time. And I understood that completely. And I promised her that I would share my response to that here on this live. And so I want to share that in case any of us are feeling like that. Because, you know, the truth is we have all been programmed with a lack mindset for our entire life, because we have a society that was based off of an immature concept of competition. when the truth is there is no competition. In nature, everything works in harmony. And I'm out here in nature because I wanted to be the most pure vessel ever to talk with you guys. And this just nurtures me. But in nature, everything works in harmony. Everything does its own thing in order for the natural abundance of the universe to take over. So while it can feel scary to say, I want to usher in this new way of being, that doesn't necessarily include me being or feeling privileged. That can be something hard, you know, to imagine a new way of being that could feel better than that. And that's a very real question. And we don't need to beat ourselves up about the real things that we're dealing with within ourselves. And this is what I want to say. You know, first of all, heaven and hell are states of consciousness. Heaven and hell are states of consciousness. We get to create our heaven here on earth. Because as Jesus taught us, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. The way that we do that is by trusting the vision and guidance of God within us, no matter what. And the promise is that we don't have to know what that no matter what is going to look like. But the promise is that it will be the highest good that we can think of, or greater, or greater, or greater, because God is love. God is love. You know, there is this scripture in the Bible that I literally have an alert on my phone to remind me of every single day. And it says that God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we think or ask. All we think or ask. Let me tell you, in my life, I don't want to settle for anything less than the exceedingly abundantly above. You see what I mean? And here's a great example of that. You know, I've always had a heart to share and touch people. I said, I know that God has called me to touch millions of people. I know that there is something higher evolving, and I know that I'm meant to serve in that way. I did not know how that was going to come about. But look at this incredible queen who said, Kay, I need you to come and share with us. Wow, you guys, let me tell you, being here with you today is definitely exceedingly abundantly above all I could think or ask. I am honored. I'm honored by your consciousness. And just know that that is enough. Stay plugged into your work. You're going to be guided. Of course, is there going to be more action to be taken? For sure. Is some of it going to be very uncomfortable? If we don't get uncomfortable, we're not creating anything new. So hell yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. Honestly, it's been uncomfortable for me to share these videos, the videos that I've shared. The live that Gabby loved, it was uncomfortable for me to share that. You know why? Because in my mind, I've always, you know, as a Black woman, as an African American, I have to be aware of anyone taking me as a stereotype of an angry Black woman. But I was enraged, and I was like, I don't know if they're going to feel my love through my rage, but all of you did.
Let's point people there, because
Tell me, Gabby.
I listen. I know, you know, the internet guides you. The internet guides you to what, you know, and spirit's working through the internet to get you to where what you need to see. And that day that I was led to that live, what I saw was only love. I saw so in that outrage as a mother, in that outrage as a Black woman, in that outrage, pure love came through. And that was what was so unbelievable about your messaging and your message and how you express it. Because the thing is, we can be in rage, we can be in shame, we can be in guilt, we can be in grief, and still speak with the words of love, speak with the energy of love. And that was what your entire, I mean, I want everybody to go to her page, at Kay Richae, we've got you. And there's so much, but I want everybody to go to your page and watch that live. Because it was a moment of, wow, okay, we can be outraged and still channel God.
Praise God. Let me tell you.
So there's something else that you said to me, my love. So you and I are on the phone. We were on FaceTime, and you know, I said to you, well, there's a lot of white women in my community that are feeling very ashamed, but they're not voicing that shame, or they, you know, don't even want to, you know, they're terrified of touching this conversation or even speaking up. And so they'll hide behind a meme, or they'll hide, which I did for many years. I hid behind memes, I hid behind hashtags, I hid behind, you know, images, because I didn't have the words, and I hadn't gone there in my heart. I hadn't gone there. I believed like, oh, I'm not racist. I'm not, but I wasn't aligned. I
Yeah.
wasn't connected with, I believe like intellectually, but not in my heart. Right.
Yeah.
And so there's people that are now waking up to what that heart feeling feels like, not just the intellectual idea. And so I asked you a question. I said, well, what would you tell that woman or man that is in that predicament? And your answer was exactly as I needed it to be, and as I needed it to come through. And so I'd love for you to just say what you said to me that day. You said, talk to God.
And that's exactly right. It is to go to God and to ask, what is mine to do? What is mine to do? How am I to grow? What's new that's seeking to emerge within me? You know what I mean? Having that conversation, that's why I said your inner practice, your inner work is what we need. That's your biggest contribution, because spiritual alignment cures all.
That's
I
right.
live my life for that. Okay.
Yeah.
Spiritual alignment cures all. Do you know why? Because the same spirit of life that's in me and in you is the same spirit of life that's in this beautiful tree in front of me. It's the same spiritual life, and it's the same spirit of life that's in our animals. It is the presence of God. It's the body of God. And when we align our consciousness with the desires of God, with the frequency of God, we're automatically led and inspired to what it is that we need to do. And so that's why it's important. It's fine to feel I love what Gabby said about feeling our emotions. It's important to feel our feelings, you guys. We can feel our feelings, and that's not going to break us. We can feel our feelings, and then we can say, oh, wow, okay, this is not, I see what's going on in my world. I see what's going on in my life. I'm not okay feeling like this.
That's right.
I'm not okay feeling like this. So now, of course, we know, right? When we feel what we don't want, that then launches a rocket of desire for us to be able to determine what it is that we do want. Okay, I don't like feeling like this. How do I want to feel? And then what is mine to do to help create that? How do I want to feel? I want to feel like my neighbor, no matter what color they are, that I can look them in the eye and know that we all live in a safe society for their children to grow up and fulfill their highest potential just like mine. That's what I want to be able to do. I want to be able to connect to all of my brothers and sisters heart to heart, no matter what color they are. And I know that I can't if I look away from the injustices of my brothers and sisters. How am I being authentically God conscious in that? It is not possible. That's why Jesus was criticized. He talked and fought for all the people that the religious people didn't think deserved to be fought for and talked to. He raised our consciousness in that way.
What you're saying also, when you say, turn to your spiritual alignment to show you, right?
Yes.
So, you're in the inquiry of how do I show up? I'm terrified, I'm scared, I'm ashamed, I'm guilty. But then when you ask, when you stop trying to make the decisions for yourself, and you suspend your need to control something that doesn't feel good, and you say, like you said, this doesn't feel good, so I know I don't want this, but I want this other feeling instead. And you give that over to a higher power of your own understanding. That's when you're going to be guided, not just to an aha moment immediately, but you might be guided to a situation that wakes you up. Or you may be guided to, in my instance, like I sat there in my kitchen looking at my son on the floor, and I thought to myself, if all the white boys were being murdered on a jog, or if they were being murdered in their cars, or if they were being murdered on the streets for doing nothing, I would be out there with fucking flames. Okay, I would be out there with flames. And it was in that moment, looking at my little boy on the floor, thinking, that's oneness. That those mothers are me, and I get it, really, really get it, not just from an intellectual standpoint, but from a very deep place. I get it. And everything turned around. And you know what? 40 years old, to have it all turn around then, okay, a little late, not too late. Okay, not too late. And so,
not too late.
Never too late. So, I get it. And something when we start to get a spiritual principle like oneness, and we start to understand something like that, there's a switch that flips for us. And it's hard to describe, and I'm trying to write about it, but it's a flip. And something, it's not just like an intellectual idea anymore. It's a feeling and a knowing inside. And then you start to see with what I believe is see with the lens of love. And
Yes.
and you see through a different lens. And so for many people watching, if that switch has not flipped for you yet, be patient, because you know that all the little moments of perceptual shifts, those are miracle moments. And when you add up those moments, you'll be sitting in your kitchen too, looking at your child and have it flip for you in the own way that's going to happen for you. So just be in prayer of show me where to go and what to do and what to say. And that's when we begin to wake up. And, thank you.
Gabby is 1,000% on point, 1,000% on point. And that is so touching for what you said about your beautiful baby boy, by the way. That's so touching that you said that, because I can tell you that as an African-American woman, that is a moment that we have been praying for. That's a moment we have been praying for. Because I'm telling you, there's so many times when in life as a minority in America where you have people that you love and respect and who you feel love you. And who you feel love you. But then it makes you question everything when you don't see them acknowledge an atrocity in our society, because they have the perception at that time that it didn't affect them. It's super painful, honestly. It's super painful. And that's that's why this beautiful healing is occurring. And that's why I was moved to tears when I saw Gabby's very authentic post the other day. She wrote a beautiful open letter about that shift she just described. And it touched me in my heart, because I knew that someone who I love and respect, had that shift and was being honest about it, and it was powerful. And I'll tell you this, something else that I want to say is that I want people to understand that, you guys, if you are a white woman, this is just a shift, and you're having this shift, or you're reaching for this shift. Understand that this work is the same work that all of us in humanity are doing who are on a spiritual growth path. Guess what? I'm having my own shifts in different ways all the time. That's what we signed up for. So just because this is one that happens to be on a topic that has been deep rooted, in our culture for a long time, we don't have to put all this energy on it as if there's any other work that's being done than the work we've already been doing. That's very important to know, because I'll tell you something that has, Gabby just talked about that shift and something to the frequency of love. And I'll tell you something else that's been huge in my awareness as the result of all of this, and that is abundance. I truly understand abundance in a different way. Do you know why? Because you guys, we have to have a total abundance mindset and consciousness in order to be willing and available to see a greater yet to be, a world that works for everyone. A world in where, your son and my son can have equal rights. And guess what? We all have more together. No one has less. We have to have an abundance mindset, that transcends our fear in order for us to manifest the new good that's emerging. And so, this is the real work, and it's a beautiful thing. And I want to say that too, that's another thing that all of this energy that we're feeling is for. It's very important that we take that energy and then to begin to make ourselves available to a vision of what does a world that works for everyone look like? What does that look like? Maybe it looks like us demanding more nuance from our political leaders. Maybe that's what it do. Maybe that's one of the things that it looks like. Maybe it comes, maybe we demand that, as a society, we refuse to feel limited between two options only for our political leaders. I guess what? I don't have to be a socialist because I want a certain level of dignity for every person. I can still care about fiscal responsibility.
Right. Right.
I can be a conscious capitalist, if that's what I choose to be. My whole point is to share that all of us can be whatever it is that we want to be, and we don't have to allow anyone else to define what that means as we begin to take action to create something new. And we can't be afraid to make those demands. And that's all I want to say.
Now, I want to take what you said, which was my vision, abundance. Abundance is also informing my vision of abundance, which is for a future of equality. And that's me interpreting exactly what you said, but in my own words. So
Yes.
on that note, I wanna close this with a prayer, and you lead it, but maybe I'll chime in, maybe I won't. Well, we're gonna close everybody together, okay? And maybe I just hold the space. We'll see what comes through. But I want to hold that prayer with the vision for the future. And before I do that, I want everybody to find you, okay? So I want, if you are watching and you're feeling I could learn more from this woman, I pinned a link below, and and tell them it's a gift that you're giving
So
away.
yes, two things I wanted to share. One, I have a mantra that I would love to share for anyone who, if it resonates with you, then please take it and use it. And the other thing is that I'm going to do a live video dialogue training where we talk about how we can create the world that works for everyone. If you are a spiritually awakened person, here's our 6 steps to really ushering in what's seeking to emerge. You know,
Yep.
and
I'll
I
be there.
wanted to do it live because I want us to be able to have live dialogue at the end of it, because it truly does have to be a collective vision, and it truly is being created right now. And we are the ones who get to be the architects of that, according to the visions and understandings that we download from spirit. And that's just very important. We have to collect together. The Christ lives in us. Whatever you call the God presence, it lives in us. And it emerges when we connect with a certain intention on a certain vibration.
That's right. So I want people to join you. I'm going to be there. I want people to just click that link that's pinned right there. And when I repost this on my IGTV, I'll post it with the link again.
Beautiful.
And so that everyone can find you.
Can I
but
share
also
go
follow. Yes, I want your mantra.
Please. And you know what? I literally asked for this. I asked for this from spirit and said, you know, if we are women, what powerful women who are committed to the best and highest good for all, what would you have me share with them? And this is the mantra that came forth. So I hope it resonates with you. If it does, please take it, write it down, share it with your heart, you know? And it says, when I am committed to my spiritual practice and intentional about using my privilege for the good of all, I am led in a path that creates a world that works for everyone.
Yep. Send that to me. I want to post that.
I will. I'll send it.
Oh my God. When I am in intention, say it again.
When I am committed to my spiritual practice.
Yep.
Committed to my spiritual practice and intentional about using my privilege.
Mm-hmm.
For the good of all.
For the good of all. Yeah, don't be ashamed of your privilege. Use it.
It was given to you for a reason.
Right.
And guess what? We all have different privileges. We all have different privileges. So it was given to you for a reason. Don't feel bad about it. Use it for the good of all, girl.
Use it for the good of all. Use it for the good of all.
And I use it for the good of all. I am led in a path that creates a world that works for everyone. I'm led in a path.
That's our prayer. Do you want to close us with more? Let's close this out with a lot of love and a lot of energy, okay?
A lot of love.
So why don't we riff together? Let's see what comes through, okay? So I'll just kick us off. So I want to thank all of the guidance of the highest truth and compassion for guiding me through the internet to my friend Kay Richae. Yes. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to see myself in her, to see my reflection back to me, to see a partner, to see a sister, to see a friend, to see a teacher, to see a guide. And I thank you for bringing her to me so that I could bring her to you, this community, so that she could help us wake up and show up and be the presence of a leader that we are here to be. I send it to you now, my love. You go.
Mother, Father, God, creator of the universe, I'm so grateful to know that there is only one presence, one power, one love operating in the universe, and to know that that power and that love is operating in, through, and as all of us here right now. We're so grateful for this love soup that we've come here to create and magnify. We're so grateful to share this love vibration, and we know that it will touch the world, and it is right now transforming the minds of men and women all across the planet, so that together we are rising higher. We are in a time of great shift that is a blessing. There is good that is being shown in us. We're showing the world what democracy looks like. We're showing the world what positive change looks like. We're showing the world how to create something beautiful out of something painful. And we are allowing you to shine your light in, through, and as us. And we're so grateful to do it. And we say yes, and we allow ourselves to be moved to inspired action. Amen.
Amen. And we say yes, yes, yes. This is the beginning of Gabby and Kay Richae. Okay? This is only the beginning. Okay, everybody. I love you guys so much. I thank you very, very much for being a teacher to me and a friend to me.
Thank you so
And this
much.
is just the beginning. I love you. I love you.
Too.
Everybody go follow my friend and click that link that's pinned and go get whatever you can out of this beautiful soul. Thank you, my sweet. Thank you so
Bye,
deeply.
you guys.
Go cuddle that baby now. Go cuddle that baby girl.
I am.
I love you. All right, everybody. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me.